What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning on the right side of the map in the red color, playing as Oranos. His name is Moore. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Odin. His name is Mr. Boat. What a series we've had here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm absolutely wrecked. We've got one more game. One more game, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see what's going to happen here. If we have a quick recap on the series. It's been a while since game number 1. Moore was able to take Mr. Boat out in game number 1 with some exceptional strategic decision making in the early game, with his villager production, with his unit production, with his micro. Everything was helping out quite a bit. But now, game number 3. We are technically back to action here. And Mr. Boat's going to have to figure out how to win this land map against Moore. Now, one of the big advantages here that Mr. Boat has is that he's basically role-playing as Oranos. He's basically role-playing as Oranos. And in fact, what a strategy here from Moore that we're seeing. I'm not sure it's good or not. I have not decided just yet. But Moore is deciding to go for no economic guild. And it looks like a 6 villager advance time. So a 4-minute advance time. He does need to chop down one piece of wood here before he puts his temple down. But it looks like he's going to be advancing very fast here, ladies and gentlemen. As he's come up with this build to put some mad pressure onto Mr. Boat. Now, the big question is, what is Mr. Boat going to have in store for Moore here? Because he's only got one ox cart. So, in terms of advance times that Mr. Boat is potentially able to do here, he can actually advance on this map with this elephant spawn, and also the fact he's got this forest here as well, because he only needs one ox cart here to share this wood line and this gold mine, and he can drag this elephant in to eat on the town center. Mr. Boat could potentially get like a 3-minute and 50-second advance time and be very happy about it. Whereas Moore, he's going to be going up. Look at this advance time. Perfect 3:55. No hunting dogs, however. I wonder... No, surely not. I wonder if it would be possible with hunting dogs to get a 3:55 advance time here with an elephant. I have to do some testing on that one. So we do see the gold mine getting grabbed here by Moore. He's getting himself some wood over here as well, and he has moved forward to the zebra on this position as well. Freya's coming now through for Mr. Boat. He goes for a fairly standard advance time, and he does actually end up getting all of his ox carts out. You know how I feel. Less ox carts, the better, right? Anyways, we'll see how it's going to go. As at this moment, Mr. Boat here, I mean, he can move over and eat these zebras. It should be fairly decent. Hey, thank you for the 15 months, Marty. Appreciate you, my friend. But Moore will be up first. He's getting military barracks, counter barracks, so very standard for what his game plan is. Did he get himself an economic guild? No economic guild. I feel like you can afford that economic guild and get the hunting dogs here when you move on to these zebra to help you out. Now look at the resources in the bank. You have perfect resources here to get yourself an economic guild and get yourself hunting dogs. I feel like that should be the next move here. As well as also get yourself that mana down. Everything would be perfect. And Mr. Boat's getting himself the longhouse, moving up onto this position now to eat the rhino. There's a whole bunch of Hersa starting to come out as well. And Moore's actually not going for he's not going for many term here at all. He's going straight into Karaballister. Not a care in the world. Karaballister into the counter barrack so it doesn't get sniped down. An interesting decision here from Moore as the Valkyrie coming through to check out what's happening on this position, as the Promethean offspring going to be putting a little bit of pressure onto the Zebra as the villagers have come onto the Rhino in the middle of the map. I like the play from Moore. Every Zebra here is going to start losing quite a bit of food quite quickly. I think it's around about 1 food every 3 to 4 seconds or something like that. As the Promethean offspring going to be retreating back here. And the Valkyrie on this position does get pushed back, no problems. But Moore's military academy might be suffering a little bit unfortunate here. I think there's not quite enough forest close enough to this military barracks to actually kill it. So that's 1 forest fire down as the units here for Moore going to be looking to hit the Rhinoceros on this position. Meanwhile, 2 counterbarracks, 2 Garaballas are just waiting out here as Moore's got a decent amount of resources in the bank here. We do see the Ulfsark coming in onto this position, going to be taking the Terma out. We will be seeing those Momillo getting pushed back and a little bit of damage coming through here in the early game for Mr. Boat. He's going to be very happy about that. Not only that, we see Lone Wanderer coming in timely fashion. I wouldn't be surprised to see like, what's it called? Medium infantry in as well. As a population, very, very equal at this point. And Mr. Boat seems like he's more than comfortable just kind of sitting on this hunt and defending, not putting any pressure onto Moore. And Moore might be able to find himself an advantage here if he pushes out. We'll have to wait and see. The unit's coming through onto the top side, pushing through. Medium infantry is coming through for Mr. Boat as he is going mass Ulfsark. It's kind of important to be fairly well aware of what your opponent is making here. If your opponent's not making any Terma, you can probably get away with making some earlier throw-in axemen than you otherwise would. We'll have to wait and see how it's going to be. As the counter barracks, Karaballister coming in onto this position here. As Moore retreating back here. We do see the units turning in. One snipe there onto a Ulfsark as the units of Mr. Boat swing it around. He's going to try and get some sort of a surround here. And this is exactly the fight which Moore is looking for. But the longer Mr. Boat delays here, the more units he's going to be able to get out to defend here. He's got units over here as well that he needs to get in to start attacking this. Those Karaballas here have been defended beautifully here by Moore thus far as Mr. Boat trying to control 3 separate groups of Ulfsark as we see immediate shockwave in as the Ulfsarks get in to hit that attack. But Mr. Boat's still not able to quite fight his way in. He's sitting with a little bit of wood in the bank as well. Does manage to snipe a Momillo down on this position. The Karaballister over here going to get sniped down as well as Moore does get a little bit out of position on that one. At this point here, the Momillo still coming back to try and deal with this as the Ulfsark coming in onto the back here to clean up that final Karaballister. After all is said and done, can Moore hold on this position? Answer, no. He's going to be retreating back here. He does have himself out. A Promethean turns around, takes the fight, getting himself medium infantry. It's about to pop here. Mr. Boat's at 63 of 115 population. He needs to get himself more longhouses and be making throwing axemen here in this game. As the Ulfsark comes through. And Momillo going to be getting some good damage done on the top here. We'll see if Mr. Boat can hold on this fight. He might want to get those villagers involved here a little bit. The Valkyrie coming back as well to help out, but there's already a hero Momillo on this position as it's 67 to 78 population. Those Prometheans, they're not that useful if there's any Herso, but it looks like there's no Herso here for Mr. Boat at this point, so they are vitally useful in this position as the villagers of Mr. Boat going to be retreating back. There's only a couple of cows left in his main base. As the Mamilo going to be able to get a couple of villager kills as the retreat happens. And Mr. Boat, he's got so many resources in the bank. It's so disappointing to see that. When you take a look at this matchup and you go, man, Oranos, he's got so much stuff. And then you look at the resources of Mr. Boat and he's just floating like 1,000 resources. And you could have had so many thrown axemen out here with just an extra longhouse placed a little bit earlier. The villagers are going to be sniping this down. We do see the watchtowers coming up. 613 gold remaining here for Mr. Boat as the army streams through into this location with the forest getting broken down. We will be seeing an armory coming up, and we've seen this once before. Mr. Boat is going to be attempting to cut production here in an effort to try and get to the heroic age. As more, he can start thinking about a second town center or whatever he really wants here in this position, as we will be seeing the house getting taken out here. We have a little bit of goats left in the main base, but I think there's enough there for him to get to the next age if he so chooses. But he is also making these throwing axemen as the units coming out onto this position here. The towers getting some decent damage done. But, I mean, maybe Mr. Boat, he's not, is he going? No, he's just completely stopped production as the Olfs are going to be searching around the map looking for some villager kills. The villagers don't have any manners down on this position, but Moore's going to be shooting that up as fast as he possibly can to keep his citizen alive here as Cairo Ballister popping into that counter barracks, ready to pop out and try and deal with these Ulfsark. We did see the Cairo Ballister coming out. Will it get another kill? Answer, not really, but a term astray. Homing beacon of a javelin hits there. Very rare. So the villagers now moving over onto this wood line. Another temple coming up here for Mr. Boat as he's waiting on that final little bit of food here. Question is, does he have enough? Answer is yes. But what can he do after this is the big question. As the Ulfsark just moving around, more going to be more than happy with grabbing this this giraffe in the center of the map. Both these giraffes actually is such a huge amount of extra hunt for him to grab. As the Termit searching for something to do. Villagers sitting idle here for Mr. Boat. We've seen this before. Where is he going to try and go with those villagers? He can jump onto the chicken if he likes. He's got ox carts over here that he can throw down. And Mr. Bodie does have 64 favor in the bank to get himself some frost giants out. But the question is, how does he get gold? And he can sell for a little bit. He can try and get somewhat of an army out as the Ulfsarks do turn around. They are starting to take out those Terma a little bit. It's those who are getting retreat out of this location. But unlike the first game here, Moore hasn't really been able to just pummel through the base of Mr. Boat. And Mr. Boat here, just going to chuck that market down. There's a big investment of 240 wood, but he's going to be able to start selling wood here at this point to get gold, to get frost giants, or whatever else he needs. The villagers finish up on the food for the time being. And Moore still waiting out on this position. Hand axe coming through. Moore wanting to get to that next age here. Now Mr. Boat going in with the hill fort and a very, very safe frost getting thrown down. He can move over onto the gold mine now if he so chooses. Hyperion on the way though for Moore is going to be a big, big help here in this game, as we do see the Promethean getting frozen there. As the hero, Mamilo, does get cleaned up as well. Villagers now on the gold means Mr. Boat doesn't need to sell anymore. He's going to be able to start massing those frost giants. Surprised to see Moore not going through Thea here, actually. Such a big, important Mythic Age god against, or Heroic Age god, I should say, against Norse. You get access to those Stymphalian birds, which are vitally important against the Frost Giants. We do see the units still coming through for Moore, trying to do as much damage as he possibly can, but Moore going to be simply retreating back, waiting out that Hyperion, dropping the Chaos immediately there to hit that Frost Giant. As I'm pretty sure here, if Moore just gets himself some upgrades and goes full send on this position, he should be able to win it fairly easily. As we see a palace coming up, military barracks coming down. I don't know if I mean, most of the time I like the palace because it defends your gold mines and things like that. It gets you set up to get fanatics in the later stages of the game. But here, I'm like, why do you need a palace? You don't really want destroyers. Just want to get yourself Mermillo and Arcus, I guess. Or even some more Contarius. Not Contarius, Caraballister here. As the Arcus does get caught out of position there. Gets sniped down as Moore's trying to make it work. Gets himself up the palace. But Mr. Boat here, he's got no real food anymore. He's on the farms. He does have these zebra in the corner here that he could be eating instead of farming, but that's requires a little bit of forethought. You have a second town center up for Moore as well. He could be going for a third town center here as well. As those Oranos units just floating around the center of the map. Moore's taking his time here. He's got a fairly large army. As Mr. Boat going to be slowly jockeying back. Both players looking for a solid position to kind of engage the other player. Heavy infantry coming through for Mr. Boat. Heavy archers, however, coming through for Moore. So a bit of a clash there in decision making. Copper mail coming through for Mr. Boat as well. As clearly the the army composition here for Mr. Boat, you have to like the Huskarl. We'll have to wait and see if it's going to be any good. As Moore's Caraballister are going to be doing some decent damage. We do see the heavy upgrades coming through into this position as well. As Moore, he still doesn't have copper mail. He doesn't have anything here. The Huskarl going to be cleaning everything up here. Moore's going to be utilizing those Promethean to take down all those units, but it looks like they're just not enough as Mr. Boat's army too strong. Moore is staying at a very solid 121 population here. He just does not have the favor at this point, it seems, to deal with those Frost Giants. So we do see now Moore's moving forward to grab the town center on this position. So those Huskarl getting pushed back ever so slightly. Still no more villagers on the farms here as the food just about cleaned up. There are some berries on the map over here and over here. There's 2 town centers to 1 town center as Moore retreating back here. So the Frost Giants getting some good damage done. They're still tanking so much here. They're so strong. There's 1 hero unit right now for... there's a couple of hero Mermillo here actually as well to take out those Frost Giants. Caraballister is coming through. Mr. Boat with those Huskarls. I mean, they just deal so much damage to the destroyers. They don't have a bonus, but the fact they've got high hack damage means that they basically counter the destroyers in a big way. As Moore still sitting full population for the time being, still pumping units out onto this position. Mr. Boat not able to quite make it through here. So he has to retreat back. And the question is, who's really winning these fights? I think both players are still kind of floating top population, but I mean, Mr. Boat, he does need to think about the next gold mine. He's got 1,500 gold left in that gold mine there, so we'll see if he's going to try and grab a town center or put up a hill fort or something like that here. As Mr. Boat, I mean, after the crazy early game that Moore had, Mr. Boat is like very, very well in this game. He's more than equal here as we do see Moore moving forward. He's deciding to chop this tree down, but a palace coming down on this position, try and control this gold mine. I think Moore has realized that if he can control this position in the game, because the town center is just about up, if he can control this position in the game, there's almost nothing Mr. Boat can do to continue here. So this palace is kind of everything. If Moore wasn't building destroyers here and was building Mermillo, it would be much better, much different stories. We do see the chaos getting dropped down on this position as the palace almost up. Hero units trying to take down the Frost Giants as best they possibly can here. Mr. Boat dropping down to 91 population in this location. The palace does come up. That's going to be helping Moore quite a bit in this fight. 14 damage. He does have to retreat back for the time being. He does have this town center up as well. He's just trying to get out as many units as he possibly can. Got to be careful of those Huskarl coming in, cleaning everything up. Even though the Kyribalis to get bonus damage against Huskarl, even though that's the case, the Huskarl got such high pierce armor that it almost makes it not worth it here. What is it? Plus 350% bonus damage versus Huskarl. I don't know if it's worth it. I don't know. They just have so much armor. There's a villagers coming forward now for Mr. Boat. Going to be going for somewhat of a early villager Ragnarok here. So the villager pops out. Going to be attempting to repair this one back up. Moore is sitting at 131 to 145 population. He probably needs some more military buildings here if he can help it. As the army pops out, going to try and take down these villagers over here as well. The palace does end up falling though, as Moore, he needed that to keep this gold starve in place. The villagers are getting taken down. Mr. Boat is on 2 town centers though, so he's going to be kind of a little bit not happy, but not unhappy about taking a fight like this, as long as he can get his production going. But it's looking like his production is hurting quite a bit here, in all honesty. As now he has to go back to selling wood to get gold here, to get any units out. As we do see the hero Arcus popping through. You're going to try and take down some ravens, take down some units here as well. We'll be seeing those Mermillo getting taken out as the destroyers pulling back. We get 2 Frost Giants remaining. With those Huskarl able to dive the Arcus, it's almost worth it to just make sure you like heroize a destroyer or a Mermillo or something like that. Moore is still sitting full population. The shockwave onto the villagers on the gold mine to slow the gold income of Mr. Boat down, as if Moore realizes exactly how low the gold income of Mr. Boat is. That one shockwave is enough resources to slow down there to keep Mr. Boat in a very, very difficult position. Some more units coming through here for Moore, whereas Mr. Boat, I mean, he's getting the Huskarl out. He's getting the Ulfsark out. Huskarl, Ulfsark, the unit composition of choice here for Mr. Boat, trying to make it work. He's getting some decent trades. Those Ulfsark, those Mermillo, they would really, really do with having some upgrades. But, I mean, they just don't have it. And maybe it doesn't matter because Mr. Boat's sitting at 61 population. No gas left in the tank with these villagers falling here. That's the last hope that Mr. Boat has. Can still sell some wood here if he needs to. But he's so low on population. And Moore is so far in front on population. But, I mean, I think part of the reason the pop is so high for Moore, but it doesn't seem like it, is these Kyribalisters, they cost 4 population. It's a crazy unit to be building at this stage of the game. And it is helping quite a lot against those Ulfsarks, though. So Mr. Boat seemingly now getting pushed off the gold mine. I don't see what else he can do. The units are checking up at that top gold mine as well momentarily. Or sporadically, I probably should say. So more and more units falling. Heavy infantry. Heavy Caro Ballast are also coming in. That's not an upgrade you see very often here from Moore. As the town center now going to start getting cleaned up. Units happily going to be targeting that one down. Mr. Boat with nothing left here. He's got a never say die attitude, but he's got 23 villagers left, 56 population, a Frost Giant coming in. As the hero Arc is dealing some good damage. We do see a couple of units coming through, but Moore's easily going to be able to deal with this. I've always wanted to know exactly what this upgrade gives Kyribalis. So when we see it, apart from a cool paint job, bam, cool paint job comes in. 8 hit points and 1 pierce damage. There you go. The more you know. And as Grassing Groom says, in rare fashion, Norse player with less villages than an Atlantean player. You know things have gone wrong. That being said, Mr. Boit has made comebacks before. But more will be taking the town center down, and that's going to put a hard stop to this gold mine. So we do see a palace coming up at the top side as well to stop any attempts at going for that top gold mine there. Copper shields, irrigation, shaft mine coming through for more. In that moment, Mr. Boit does tap out. Moore gets the dub and claims the series 2-1 with some very, very nice Oranos versus Odin gameplay. Showing Mr. Boit up here in this one. Mr. Boit could not quite work it out. I do think that if Mr. Boit just threw down that third longhouse early in this game to start making throw and axeman, he'd be able to spend those resources. He would be able to win this fight. He would have been able to get to the middle, grab the giraffe. He would have been in a fantastic position, but he just didn't go for it, and Moore made him suffer. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next game.